Hey y'all, Matt McMeme here. Now, some of you who've been subscribed to me for a long time or gone through my back catalog may have noticed that I used to talk about anime quite a bit. And not that anything's really changed in terms of like my enjoyment of anime. I still like it. I don't really like it any less, really. Um, just that I haven't really had much to say or talk about, really. But you know what? Now I'm gonna make a video telling you how world record acclaimed anime boy Matt McMeme became a weeaboo. And the story begins, as all good stories do, with a young boy trying to find his place in the world. Basically, I watched all of the anime that anybody watches as a kid. Pokemon, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! GX especially was my shit. Fucking Digimon, Naruto a little bit later on, all that stuff. So, of course. But also, when I was really little, I remember, I have these very vivid memories. Toonami started when it was supposed to be my bedtime. So essentially, I used to watch TV in my parents' room, and they would watch TV out in the living room because their TV in their room was like this little shitty fucking horrible thing. And so basically when Toonami came on, I would try to be as quiet as possible so that they wouldn't remind me to go to bed, so that I could watch Dragon Ball Z, because that was usually the first show that was on. Because it was the most badass shit I'd ever seen in my life. The animation was so cool, and everything was just amazing about it. But I never got to watch it for more than like 10 minutes at a time. But anyway, yeah. Also, I think I must have once, I have no idea how, but I must have seen an episode of Cowboy Bebop. Because I remember specifically when I later went and watched it myself, I remembered the bumpers, the work that will become a genre unto itself, Cowboy Bebop. I specifically remember having seen those before I'd watched the show the first time. So I'm pretty sure I must have seen at least a little bit of it when I was a kid. And those bumpers just stuck with me somehow. Anyway, yeah. At the time, I also watched a lot of the anime-inspired shows from the early to mid-2000s that everybody else did. Avatar, obviously. Teen Titans. Totally Oko. Totally Spies. Kappa Mikey. Not too much Kappa Mikey, just a little bit. Dog, what the fuck? What are you doing here, puppy? Hi. One thing I want to talk about briefly. I remember the fucking, I want to talk about it because I just remembered it today and I just looked it up and just saw the things that it was. The show Oban Star Racers was on Jetix, which, if you remember, was like Disney Channel's kind of action for boys block, where they had, Batman and Superman, the animated series, Static Shock, like Yu-Gi-Oh! I think was on there, stuff like that, basically. And Oban Star Racers was, I don't even know if it was an anime. It may have been like a fake ass French anime, like Code Lyoko. But it was basically pod racing, from what I remember. And look up the theme song, because the theme song is fucking hilarious, because it sounds like it was made by Skillet. Anyway, though, that was kind of stupid and gay, but whatever. So as the decade wore on, as you know, anime became less and less popular among the kiddles. So it was on TV less, and I stopped caring because it wasn't on anymore. But in 2011 or 2012, I want to say, the summer, I had this urge to watch Naruto because I remembered it from when I was a kid. I'm like, you know what? That show was probably pretty cool. I want to watch it. So somehow I found the website narutoget.com, which basically was just a website that just had Naruto on it, as far as I'm aware. And so one summer I watched a shit ton of Naruto. And I'm like, yeah, that was cool. And then I wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z, because I remember Dragon Ball Z being fucking awesome. And again, I don't know how I did this, and this one's extra weird. Dog, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? I somehow got onto this weird, probably malware-filled Russian website that had Dragon Ball GT on it. So I just watched all of that on that website. I don't know how the fuck I even came across that, but I did. And I never watched Dragon Ball Z, and I still haven't, or the original fucking Dragon Ball. Just GT. So GT is probably a 10 out of 10, I would say. And it was probably also around this time that we got Netflix. And that was pretty important for me watching anime, because Netflix had anime on it. I think one of the first ones I watched was Soul Eater. I think just because the character designs kind of stuck out to me. And I liked it a lot. And I thought, yeah, Soul Eater's cool. So I typed into YouTube Soul Eater. And then I saw Arcada / Glass Reflection, that guy, you know, that fucking douchebag, faggot, asshole. I saw his, like, review or whatever of Soul Eater, and I'm like, yeah, this guy's probably a genius. He's an anime genius. And so basically I would watch stuff that he reviewed that was on Netflix that I thought was interesting. So I watched Fullmetal Alchemist that was on there. I don't think they had Brotherhood at the time, so just the original. I watched Trigun, that was on Netflix at the time. I watched fucking Welcome to the NHK. That was probably my favorite anime for a while. All that kind of stuff. And also, I found this, like, weirdly... I found this illegal streaming site with a very weirdly small library of shows. And I watched, like, Black Lagoon and Psycho Pass and fucking... probably, like, Steins Gate on it. That was kind of funny. One thing I remember is, I remember hearing Psycho Pass 2 is come out. I'm like, oh, really? Or Psycho Pass 2 is coming out. And I'm like, oh, yeah? Is that so? I was fucking, I was like waiting and waiting for Psycho Pass 2 on this shitty website, and it never updated. And then, like a year or so later, I went on Kiss Anime. It's like, oh yeah, it's been up there for like, you know, a year. It's like, oh, okay, cool. And so yeah, I would just keep watching anime on Netflix. Really just kind of watching whatever Glass Reflection recommended me. I watched Ava. I watched Cowboy Bebop on YouTube, actually. If you're old enough to remember that, you know, if you're a 90s kid like myself, you remember that you could watch stuff on YouTube, actually. And yeah. And then in, I want to say 2015, because I think that's when Monster Musume came out. 2015, I started watching airing shows. You know, I started watching seasonals. I bring up Monster Musume because I remember that was specifically in the first season I ever watched. I don't remember exactly what the first seasonal show I ever watched was. Like, the first show I watched while it was airing. Like, I don't think it was Attack on Titan. Yeah, no. But yeah, I watched, I started watching airing shows, and I kept watching them, and I've been watching them ever since. I haven't really watched, except for these last 2 seasons, I didn't really watch very much, only like 1 or 2 shows. But, whatever, I'll probably, Bleh. So that's the story, ladies and gentlemen, of how McMeme became world famous anime genius, best anime taste in the world, smartest man in the world, basically just all around mega genius. Thanks to anime, I've become a genius. Bro fist.